Okay, so today's video is actually a request of sorts, which was that someone asked me how do I farm as efficiently as quickly as I do. And just to demonstrate what I mean, I have huge amounts of all the stuff. My backpack is full. 170 out of 170. Got lots of the cool stuffs, powders and parts and twine, and then loads of nuts and bolts. I think it's 10,500 nuts and bolts. And then ores and planks. And then in storage, we have the same thing. Loads of malachite, because I keep trying to really save more of the parts of all three types. Loads of twine, loads of ores and powders there, sorry, and planks. I got 1,000 planks there. And I can do this all within like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes, depending on how much I'm trying to collect at any one point in time. So, what do? I use these guys, the Outlander class. I use Fossil Southie as my lead in particular, and I would argue, and I might actually do something subsequently on this, that Fossil Southie is probably the best individual hero in the game. So he has two really cool abilities in particular. The first is his commander perk, which is when shield is depleted, he regenerates energy, up to 12 energy. Now, on its own, that sounds kind of okay, but you hope that you have shields if you're playing pretty well and you're getting hit too often. However, if you link this to the perk Blast from the Past, which requires 2 dinosaur heroes, this takes your shields away and doubles your health, which has the beautiful effect that it then makes Southie constantly regenerate energy. So he is constantly bringing 12 energy back to the fight every single second. And then if you add that to the anti-material charge, which is a punch that harvests whatever it is you hit, instantaneously destroys it, that then becomes almost like a farming engine. Now, if we can, you can then kind of make this whole scenario better depending on which heroes you have. So we have this version of Jess. I'm not going to try and say her name because I've tried to say it several times and failed. But this version of Jess, she makes the anti-material charge more efficient. Now, the writing is really bad. One thing that Fortnite fails on often is that it fails to actually explain particularly well what it means for certain details. And one of those details is right here, which is when it says anti-material charge efficiency, what it really means is it makes it cheaper. So she makes it 28% cheaper than it was before. You can, if she is your only one of these two characters that you have, you can use her as the lead, and it is actually almost as effective straight up for anti-material charge farming abilities. However, Fossil Southie, I think if you work out the maths, is slightly better. You get, I think, 1 extra punch per full energy regeneration, because eventually both characters run out of energy, so eventually you have to stand still or wait for a minute, wait for a few seconds, sorry, until it comes back. So you can use her, but Southie works slightly better. He also has a side effect, which I'm going to show as well in the video. I use Anti-Cuddle. Some melee eliminations give you energy, so that's extra energy regeneration. I use Paleo Luna because her perk gives you 3% damage, which, considering he's using all health and his 200% health, actually means a significant amount of extra damage to your melee damage. And then these two work together, because if you're doing more melee damage and she's getting energy from melee eliminations, that's beautiful. And then these two are really here to try and make sure that you can survive. So the first one, which is Prehistoric Iso, I think, yeah, she has a really cool and slightly understated ability. So her perk, is called Soaring Hide, and it says when your shield is depleted, you increase armor by 33. Now, on its own, that doesn't sound massive, because if you look at the figures on the left there, health is 50,000 or 175,000, or run speed is at 400 there, that kind of thing. None of these things sound particularly cool. However, what they really mean, again, is the kind of small print that they don't make clear, is actually 33% armor. So her armor is not just a little flat 33 extra, it is 33% higher than before. That means essentially you get 1/3 extra health on top of the health that you see in the number in the top left corner before up there. So you actually get that, essentially gives you 1/3 more. And then lastly, Triceratops Ramirez. She is there just to heal, so she's not too bad at all. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're in a big fight and you have a lot of health, 2% can make all the difference. And every 5 seconds is not too bad. So that's the loadout I use. I do have a couple of variations. Occasionally I use one other character instead of Luna. I sometimes have used Dennis, because the burgers actually are quite cool to randomly heal and get you energy back as well. But that's what I've got going on at the minute. So if we just go into a random mission, let's just go for by blanket. I just want to find something that's ideally in, yeah, this will do. So just to show exactly how this all works out. Okay then, so we're just loading into a mission here, just a random survivor mission. And we're just going to show you exactly how this works. So it's Fossil Southie, he's got his 100 energy, he's just started the mission a few minutes ago. And if we punch something using the anti-material charge, bam, and you get the medal. If I need metal, you get the part. And then hopefully you can see this quite quickly. So if I just punch all these quite quickly close together, you can do all of this without needing to regenerate energy until that point there. And even then, it's only for like half a second. And it can work on anything. So we're just doing it on cars here, but of course you can do it on trees. Like that. You can do it on rocks. You can do it on pretty much any kind of electrical equipment you've got. Just got a wall here. It does actually make farming way quicker, because we're just getting batteries and nuts and bolts parts. It's just kind of flicking them on the screen as we go. Of course, you can't collect the bits that way. You have to do this manually. But let's get rid of that guy. There we go. So there is one other reason why I use Fossil Southie, and this one's a much cooler one, if a little bit random. Let's see if we can get to the top of the building first. Because I don't think I've got enough energy to do this properly, but you can see basically how it goes. So Fossil Southie has got the air splitter spear equipped, which is here, and I've increased the heavy attack efficiency significantly. So it's now apparently 120% more efficient. Now, what that means in real terms means you can do this. What was a chest there? Oh well. For science. And as you can see on the screen, lots of things are popping up because I'm picking up whatever it is that my spear is destroying, in the same way that the anti-material punch works. Now it uses quite a lot of energy, and you can't easily do that without a bit of luck, but you can see I can collect everything that's on there, and if there are more things, more parts, more TVs or whatever it is, you can actually quite quickly collect all of those using the ear splitter, and you can look really cool when you do it because of the music. Let's see if I can find it. See if I can quickly find. Maybe we can do this building. This one might have something more interesting just to go through. Okay, there we go. So that's true again, but you can see hopefully. There you go, parts, nuts and bolts. You're getting bricks and metal and whatever it is, wood, if you need it. There's actually not that many things here in this place. It's just the building, which is quite upsetting. But hopefully you can see the point that using the anti-material charge, and in particular for Southie, because of the energy regeneration, you can also use the ear splitter spear. And the two things working in combination really quickly to collect a whole bunch of things for you to use. So get rid of those guys. There you go. Bit over the top. So simply put, you can collect 4,000 wood, brick, steel using the anti-material charge. In a matter of minutes you can collect literally dozens of parts, hundreds of nuts and bolts in a matter of minutes. Just like this. You can see the time is, it's not going up that slowly. But you can collect a lot of stuff. And so, I guess that's it for today. Hopefully that makes it crystal clear exactly how you're able to manipulate a little bit of the loadouts in some of the game to collect things and to farm really fast.